Welcome back to Putnet's Kitchen. What I'm talking about today is something that not everybody deals with, just some people. Some of us, well, we don't use fresh basil. Some of us use dried basil. I have a large bag of it right there in the cupboard. But for certain applications, nothing beats that taste of fresh basil. But it's so hard to always have it on hand. Dry, it sits in there dry. You can use it anytime you want. But it's missing that delicious flavor that you get from fresh basil, right? So, how can you get fresh basil and keep it fresh? Keep that fresh flavor and yet not have it go bad. Now, I work in a restaurant and we use basil for our marinara sauce. And it's a wonderful recipe. I might even share it one day. But the point is, the basil, they send it in a box inside of a plastic bag with some paper towels, believe it or not. And in the cooler, it's good for a few days. Starts turning mushy and brown and goes rotten. Within a week, it's no good. It's just completely rotten. We need to make 2 batches of marinara sauce a week, usually during the busier part of the year. And by the time we get to the second one, you're picking through nastiness trying to get decent leaves. So I started looking on the internet trying to figure out how we can keep it fresh longer. And the first thing, the main thing I came up with is you can do it like flowers. You can cut the bottoms of the stems off with a pair of scissors or a sharp knife, take a 1/2 inch off the bottom of the stems and put it in like a vase or a cup with some water. And that will keep it fresh for a while, especially if you keep the water changed, put it in a window that doesn't get too much sun. It'll even grow. It'll grow roots. Then you could plant it if you want. If you didn't know that, no, now you do. But also, I found another way to keep it fresh even longer than that. And I'm not sure how long because I've never kept it more than like a week this way, but trust me, after a week, you cannot tell it's not fresh basil in the recipe. Now, if you're going to do something like use a fresh basil leaf in a drink or something, yeah, you're going to want fresh basil. Use the cup of water method. But if what you're doing is making a sauce or cooking it into something, this is a game changer. Watch this. It's noisy at work, so I'm narrating this, but I've already picked this pile clean, got it all cleaned off of the stems, so it's ready to go into the freezer. This is the box that it comes in where I work, and then I get 2 bags out of this box, 2 piles about the same size as what you see here. This box also works great for squeezing the air out, which you'll see in a little bit. So I cleaned it all up, and I got it here. I pick it all down like this. Now, if I'm going to plant them, I pick them stems off too. Clean it up further, which I'll show you in a minute. But anyway, I get it ready, and I have this bag ready, fluff it open. This is what it looks like when I'm done at work, because I have to label it. And it comes with a paper towel. If you're doing it at home, supply your own. Now, you just put it on the paper towel. And this is hard to completely do with one hand. I'm filming with one hand and doing it with one hand, but normally I'd take 2 hands to do this, so I can't show you everything. But anyway, you get the basil on there, and then you just fold over one side, fold over the other side, and I found that it helps to tuck in one end so it slides into the bag easier. And you slide it into that Ziploc bag, or 1 gallon Ziploc, or whatever size you want to use. I've just found that this works out great. It seems like the paper towel protects it from freezer burn. Now these are the ones I told you about where I clean them up before I put them in water. I've got these sitting in water at work right now. I'm going to try to grow some more to bring inside for the winter. Put them in planter pots. But anyway, the paper towel, I hope anyway, protects it from freezer burn. So far I haven't had it in there long enough to get freezer burn. As you can see, it's covered by paper towel on both sides. I use the box to squeeze the air out. You might need to use something else, but I zip it most of the way shut, squeeze the air out, zip that last little bit, and it's done. No, it really is that easy. I've been doing that at work for a couple of months now. Yeah, when the basil comes in, I pick it off the stems, I put it in the bag, squeeze all the air out with the box they sent me. I just put the box on there and press down to squeeze out all the air, zip tie it shut, label it, throw it in the freezer. I've had it in there for, I'd say 8 or 9 days is the longest I've had it in there, but you can't tell it's not fresh when you bring it out and use it in the sauce. It has full flavor. And matter of fact, it's really easy to cut up. You just crush it because it's like little pieces of, it's frozen. It just crushes right up and dump it in the sauce. It makes it so easy. So next time you need to get some basil, if you've got basil growing in your garden and you want fresh basil to save through the winter, or if you go to the store and you buy a package of basil and you don't need to use the whole thing, now you know what to do. And if you find out how long it's good for, if you find out there's a limit to how long you can keep it in the freezer, put it down in the comments. I'd like to know how long it's good for, because I'm probably never going to find out at work. They don't order more until we use the rest of it up. So there is that. But I've got some growing here at home. Let me show it to you. These are the basil plants from work. They're just plain old sweet basil. They were basically bare stems when we started. Look how they've grown. Going to be harvesting soon. Those are some plants that I brought from work that took root in a cup in the window. We picked all the leaves off of them and they started growing new sprouts. I took them home and planted them in the garden. And then I bought some seeds and planted them. They have a different flavor though. They don't have that sweet basil flavor. It's a different basil flavor. Let me show you that one. And this is the mammoth basil. The bugs and butterflies sure do love the flowers, but it doesn't have that wonderful of a scent. I haven't tried cooking with it yet, but it doesn't smell like it's going to be anywhere near as good as sweet basil. And then last but not least, I have my personal favorite, but it doesn't offer a whole lot of leaves for flavoring, but it's better dried, actually. It's better to let it dry and then crunch it up. It works good. I mean, don't get me wrong, it works great fresh. It's just you don't get a whole lot out of it when it's fresh. It's hard to pick all these little leaves off, and that's Thai basil. The only place I've ever found it is at Walmart. They get it in, they get one tray in, and the Bonnie's vegetables, which don't even get me started on what Bonnie's has done to the price of fruits and vegetable plants, but they get in one tray of like 10 or 12, and when they're gone, they're gone. So you got to keep your eye at Walmart, but you can find it. THAI, like Thailand. Let me show you a picture of that. And this is the Thai basil. You notice it has purple stems, purple flowers, skinny little leaves. That back there is a better representation of what it looks like. It looks like it needs a drink. That's what it looks like. But that's what it is, and it has a wonderful flavor. But look how small the leaves are. I use the flowers and all on this one because there's just not that much to use. Everything but the hard stems. Isn't that a cool looking plant? I also found out if you live in the south, like I used to live in Florida, Thai basil will actually continue growing. It's more of a perennial. It'll grow like a bush. It'll get a woody stem. But where I lived, every 2 or 3 years, it would get down into the mid-20s, and they just don't take that. So if you live farther south than Palm Bay, like if you live down Vero Beach and south, you could probably plant it as bushes around your house and it will just keep growing and growing. But be warned, it also will spread seeds and start spreading and spreading. Which, hey, more basil, right? Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, share it with your friends, and we'll keep making videos.